What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Mega Man X Dive video. Today we're going to be doing a character overview of RiCO. And again, if I sound like I've been eating rocks, it's because I haven't been feeling too great over the weekend, but hopefully I don't sound that bad. Anyway, let's get into the video. Okay, since RiCO is going to be the newest unit coming to the North American version of X Dive, we're going to be taking a in-depth look at her kit and what she can do. I looked at her already in the when I did my unit preview, I couldn't find words for a second there. But let's take a look at her skills first. Updated recreation, spend energy to deploy a window feed into the field. Info will pop up accessing character skills and the deep log, and then release a skill. The window will stay there for 12 seconds or after a certain amount of attacks have been unleashed. And this is actually a pretty interesting skill. It allows RiCO to summon forth data windows, and then from the data windows you can get one of 3 skills. You can get Ultimate Armor X's Charge Shot, the Plasma Shot, Awaken Zero's Genmu Zero, or I forgot what the last, Iris's Peaceful Wish. Those are the 3 you can get. Now it is based on RNG from as far as I'm aware, and it does use your data energy, which I'll get into more into in a little bit here. So you can get very unlucky sometimes. If you're doing like a PvE stage, you might accidentally get, you know, multiple irises, but you want Genmu Zeros. But let's take a look at the modifier chips here. Focus Recreation X increases the damage of X's the charged plasma shot by 15%. Focus Recreation 0 increases the damage rate of Genmu Zero by 15%. And Focus Recreation Iris increases duration and immobility caused by Peaceful Wish by 50%. Now that one would be great in like a PvE setting, but again, like this is all based off of RNG, so like you can't control which one of these you get, but the additional effects will be nice. You know, when you hit the right one, like you hit like the enemies in the sweet spot, hit them with both Genmu Zeros with initial 50% more damage, you know, that'd be quite nice. So then her skill 2 is Data Analysis. Deploy a force field in the field which will inflict damage and attack enemies within range and absorb data energy from them. So you use this to basically restore your data energy. And your data energy is just going to be like a little bar above RiCO's head. Kind of similar to the, I think it's called the full synchro bar for Mega Man EXE. I believe that's what it's called. Or the sync rate synchro bar, something to that effect. He has a bar like that as well. RiCO makes use of hers by using it to call forth her skills, and depending on how much of her bar she has filled will affect some of her past skills, which we'll get into a bit later. So first up, we have for the modifier tips, we have Precise Analysis, increase the data energy absorbed by 60%. Power Increase increases the damage rate by 5%. And Data Network, when activated skill, receives 20 points of data energy directly. So this just erects like a giant barrier kind of thing around Eco. As you can see here, this is just like a giant stationary field. So that's pretty cool. And if you can, you want to try to take the fight of your opposition while inside the barrier, because they'll be taking damage while you're getting energy back. But on top of that, you know, you'll be damaging the opposition with this and your weapon, and maybe this as well. So that would be very, very nice. So let's take a look at the passive skills. We have Data Admin, extend the duration of data recreation by 30%. That's always great. Strategy for the Unknown, when below 50% data energy, reduce damage taken by 20%. So this is what encourages you to actually use your data. If you're below 50% data, then you reduce damage you take by 20%, which is fantastic. Well prepared, start with full data energy when you enter a stage, which is always great as well. So you just have full energy into the stage, allows you to spam your abilities a bit more, you know, a bit more easily, so you don't have to worry about not having data energy. Troubleshooting anomalies, randomly remove a buff when hitting a target with your weapon attack. This effect can only be triggered again once more after 4-second cooldown. So this one's actually very, very interesting. This allows you to dispel a positive buff from your opposition when hitting them with just your weapon. So just because your weapons functionally have 100% uptime, you know, you can just hit them with your weapons and remove, you know, maybe their shield, maybe their attack buff. Of the buffs that can be removed, that is, because some buffs cannot be removed. Then next gen Navigator, reduce the data energy used for data recreation by 25% when you attack with a weapon, or only remove 1 debuff. This effect can only be triggered once more after 4 seconds. Now this one, as soon as yourself, so it gets rid of 1 debuff from yourself. So, you know, if you're hit with chilled, if you're hit with the damage over time effects such as burn, poison, you know, what have you, you know, things like that will be very, very nice. This won't work with immobilized, because if you're immobilized, you can't use your weapons. It'd be great if you could do that with immobilized, but you know, them's the breaks. But yeah, I like her passives. Once you know what she does, her passives make a lot more sense. Like if you just look at her without knowing how her kit really interacts with her, it's kind of weird to look at them and be like, you know, I want these, and you know, maybe I don't want these things. All right, so let's take a look at some weapons that might be a good combination with RiCO. Okay, so here we are over at the weapons tab, and I'm over here hovering over the Aqua Buster, simply because, not so much at the Aqua, I think the Aqua Buster will pair well with it. It'll pair fine with her realistically, but if you're using a Buster, you probably want to go with the Sniper Buster anyway. But because the Aqua Buster has a skill that allows you to slow the target, and so will be good for when you use your data field, because that will make it harder for the opposition to get out of the data field, meaning you take more damage. You can inflict, you know, more damage to them while they're inside the data field. So things that inflict slow, you know, immobilize, things that would be great to have inside the for that. And RiCO kind of wants to be a close range fighter anyway, surprisingly, but if you're going to use a buster, like I said, you want to use a sniper buster anyway, a sniper style buster most likely. And alongside that, you can actually just put the bit chip or the chill penguin chip, as this will inflict a chilled effect which slows down the opposition anyway. So realistically, you could just do that, but I wanted to make note of that effect in general. But because you can put the slow effect on any buster realistically, slow or immobilized, it doesn't really matter which buster you pick. You can just think Berserker Greatsword would also be a decent choice, as well as the Berserker Greatsword. It is a fantastic sword, just only slightly worse than the Nightmare, but Nightmare is the best melee weapon in the game. So I mean, that's basically everything is worse than Nightmare. But this isn't too far behind it. This can reduce speed as well, but it also has a damage over time effect. And with this, when it hits, it leaves behind a rift, and that rift does a bit of damage. But if you have it at 4-star, you can also inflict slow with that as well, which is very, very nice. I had to scroll all the way down here because I just mentioned it to Nightmare. I don't own it on this account, so it was a bit harder for me to get to this sword over here. But Nightmare is always going to be a fantastic weapon to have on someone, especially someone like RiCO, who wants to kind of play, you know, in a more CQC combat style. Shooting Dragon Buster can be good as well for the reasons I mentioned before. It has a bit of damage over time, but also you can use the Chill Penguin chip to inflict to inflict the chilled status, and then this inherently has a damage over time effect, which you can make use of inside a data recreation field to start racking up lots of damage. All right, but the weapons I think are that would be the best on RiCO. I think sprayers would be fantastic on RiCO. Something like Gator Fangs here. Gator Fangs is a phenomenal weapon. It is a great sprayer. It is much like the explosive blower, except it combines like the best of both worlds. You get huge damage from like the explosive blower, but you also get the chilled effect from the snowy spray gun. On top of that, when you're in extremely close range, down here, this has a skill called Rending Fang. It deals additional damage when attacking when you're extremely close range to the target, and that is great. But on top of that, it also has Predator as a passive. And what Predator does is when hitting a target with Rending Fang, which is this right here, which only triggers when you're close range, you get the Predator status, and your shooting speed increases by 65%, which is fantastic, right? Like, you start shooting, like, this thing doesn't have very much ammo as it is, but combined with the slowing effect, combined with the additional effect of Rending Fang, you know, stacked down on top of being within RiCO's data recreation, on top of, you know, maybe the windows you have open, you'll get in damage very, very quickly. But this is also just a powerful weapon. And later on as well, you get rapid reload, reduces the reload time by 30% when in predator status. Reloading time becomes half a second when you're in predator status, and this is again why this weapon is so good, because again, close range, you get additional damage from being close range. You get the predator status, so you fire much quicker, and then you get the half a second reload. So this is a fantastic weapon to use. Since I brought the explosive blower, this is a great weapon to use as well. This can inflict knockback. This can also inflict immobilize, which is great. It's just a really good weapon to use. And then if you don't have the Gator Fangs or the explosive blower, you can make use with the Snowy Spray Gun. Snowy Spray Gun offers a bit more utility than the Gator Fangs, but it trades that off for damage. You still get the shield. You also fire a bit more consistently. You do a lot less damage, but you get the fat shield effect, which is great. And you can even get a shield off of it as well, so you know, that's cool. And then you get an increased, increased damage from things that are chilled. But if you want something that's better than the Snowy Spray Gun, come over here to the Freezing Dominator. Freezing Dominator is legitimately just a direct upgrade to the Snowy Spray Gun. So if you have this and Snowy Spray Gun, you should be using this. Unless you can, I guess, fully unlock this. But everything Snowy Spray Gun does, this gun does, but better, and has a hidden skill. I can't show it right now, but this thing has a hidden skill that can just cleanse remove buffs from the opposition. Maybe it might just be shields. I don't remember if it's buffs in general or if it's shields, but if you can remove shields, that's still pretty good, right? So this is a great weapon to use. All right, we've talked a little bit about weapons, talked about RiCo's kit. So now let's talk about some cards that might go well with her. So, like a lot of units, it's going to depend on what weapons you're using with RiCo and possibly what game mode you're playing. So typically, if you're going PvP as like, you know, as like a sign of a thought process, you want to use things with player killer. So things like the Akuma card, or maybe the, what's this guy's name? M Bison card would be really, really good. I don't know if I have Akuma on this account here. I'm trying to see. I should have Akuma on this account, just to show you. Yeah, Master of the Fishes has Akuma here. Professor Godile is decent as well if you're using the sprayers. The trigger's off of yellow, and one of the yellow cards triggers that has player killer triggers off of yellow, red, which is the Life Aura card from base EXE. You can buy that in the token shop, so this will combo good with that. You just need to find a red card to combo with that. You could also get player killer from Violin here as well from yellow. So what you could do is you go player killer 2 off of this. Then you go spray amplification off of this. And then you go over here. Okay, I made a mistake. I forgot that the Life Aura is the yellow card for a base, not the red card. So you can get player killer from this, but this is yellow, so you would still need a red. If you want to combo it with this, though, if you're going with the combo that I just with Violin and Professor Godile, that only needs yellow, so then you can find something else that triggers off of that. So you could go with this right here. That triggers off of yellow, red. That wouldn't be too bad. You can use the Hino and Monono card. This is okay if you just want the Bunny Dongo 1. I wouldn't recommend it if you're not doing PvE, but this is an option. Yes, if you're worried about status effects, you can use Guile, because that triggers off of yellow. So you can use that with Professor Godile and Violin. Dr. Light could be an interesting option as well if you want to go for the reduction special attack, because with sprayers, you can use the Mad Nautilus chip, and that will allow you to just inflict damage reduction status. So then that means you'll take even less damage while playing as RiCo, and you'll deal more damage to them as well. The Flame Mammoth card is also an interesting card you can use for the spray adaptability 1, so you take even more reduced damage. You won't be able to activate the Soul Special attack with the card setup I had mentioned before, but you'll be able to use the spray adaptability. Alright, so another combination that might be kind of interesting that you can use that has access to player killer is a Sigma X4 second form card, which you can get here in the arena token shop for 1200 arena coins. You see it as player killer down here. The Flame Mammoth card, which you get from the Jacob's Tower by beating Flame Mammoth in that. I believe it's around between floors 90 and 100 for that. Let's give you spray adaptability, and you'll have access to Soul Special attack. And then the final one, I couldn't really find a good yellow card that triggers off of red and green. But Zangief is one that you'll have access to in Global as well. It'll give you access to Player Sentinel, so you'll take even more reduced damage. And it has shield special attack. And because shields are pretty common on a lot of loadouts, you'll be able to deal more damage with that. Though, if you're using the Freezing Dominator, the shield won't matter because you'll just get rid of it. But that is a combination that you can use. Again, you mostly want to, it's going to depend on what you're going to be using with the character and, you know, what game mode they're in. So, again, generically, if you're playing PvP, you'll probably want Player Killer, some type of amplification for your damage, or some type of adaptability for your damage. Sentinels are okay, depending on what kind of build you're going for. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for RiCO. I would like to have shown more card combinations, but it's really hard to get information about cards, especially considering there's not really a good resource that shows all the cards and how to get them, and then that differentiates which ones are in Globe, which ones in the Taiwan version. So I kind of just have to go based off of what I have available and like what I know is available in between the versions. Which even then I still might make a mistake and make a suggestion that isn't available in the global version at the time, but. Let me know how you guys feel about RiCO. If you'll be calling for her, good luck to you all. Hopefully everyone's free pull goes well. But yeah, if you have any other characters like the C, let me know down below. I'll be asking on my community page, so be sure to check that out within the next week or so. Although Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak comes out in 2 days, so I might be consumed with that. So there might be only a few excited videos for the rest of this week. So if that happens, I apologize. But yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Help the channel help to go showing me doing the content, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.